Well, happy Friday to you. It's actually not Friday, it's Saturday. Chris Hare here, world champion crypto cowboy. My days are kind of mixed up. Again, been getting ready for this big winter bomb. We've got about 3 inches of sleet on the ground and it's about 15 degrees. It is cold in Texas. So I've been working in the spur shop today. If I move over here, you can see my crypto dungeon there behind me. That's where all the magic happens. But I work on these Yeti cups. I make these here at the house. Take a little brass, cut it out, put it on here in the shape of a Bitcoin symbol. Works pretty well. I do have a new crypto store in my YouTube. I'll be putting those on there in the next couple of days, so you're not going to want to miss that out, but you'll find some cool shirts and things and caps and hoodies and things like that with some crypto related stuff on it. You may want to check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. We're going to keep updating it as we go along. But we dropped a video this morning and I wanted to follow up with it. I've been thinking a lot about it today. We've talked about how this cycle is really starting to mimic 2022, and I think there may be an argument for a bear market going on right now. It looked pretty promising for a while, and now it's just kind of like, are we really going to do it or not? My big concern is we can't get over that 50 simple moving average on the daily chart, and every time we get to it, it looks really weak, gets rejected, and then if you compare it to 2022, in the video I did this morning, it really looks kind of ugly. And I have some concerns. I have some real concerns. Like I said this morning, that Trump said that we're going to introduce 100% tariffs on Canada if they do their deal with China. And we know tariffs happened last weekend, the tariff talk with the UK, and when we got to Tuesday morning, when the markets opened, everything dumped, and it dumped all week. So what's really going to set up here? Well, I'm not real sure. You know, if we can't hold that 50 smooth moving average sitting at about $85,000 and maybe hold about $80,000, I think the bear market is a realistic possibility, and we're probably going to look at about $50,000. But there's some other things, you know, that could just be setting this up to make it look bad. You know, market makers like to do that. They like to make things look bad, and the next thing you know, we're pumping and everybody's forgot about all the bad news and FUD that's going on. And I wonder about that too. The Clarity Act for all the crypto regulation and getting some kind of clarity into the United States for crypto is on the Senate floor. And it's a realistic possibility that it's going to pass. When's it going to pass? We don't really know. Maybe next week, maybe in a couple of weeks, you know, but it's bullish for crypto. It opens the world to banks to do a lot more with crypto, and there's just a lot of more things that can happen. And it provides a lot of clarity into the crypto space, and as we all know, markets like clarity. The other upcoming thing I think we need to watch on is that I noticed West Texas Intermediate crude today. It looks like it's on the edge of breaking out. I know it's closed today, but I went back and looked at it today just to kind of get an idea, and it really looks like it's close to a breakout. The breakout target's somewhere around $80 a barrel, $60 to $80 a barrel, which makes me think there's some kind of geopolitical tensions, and that draws my attention to all the conflict that's going on in Iran right now. If that escalates, that creates uncertainty. Markets don't like it. That's another argument for a bear market. But like I said, the only good thing we got going for us is the Clarity Act. Then my question says, you know, if the Clarity Act passed, that lets banks in. Banks aren't going to buy the top of the market, guys. They're not going to buy the middle of the market. They're going to wait till we get to the dead bottom. And you guys know how I argue about markets dictate news. Maybe all this bad news that we're hearing about with the tariffs and Iran, maybe that's a catalyst to go ahead and push this down, and that gives the banks their entries. It's a feasible thesis, and I wonder if that's not exactly what's going on, and maybe we just are going into a bear market and this year's going to be really bad. Flip to the other side of that, go bullish again. It's midterms in the United States for Congress, midterm elections, and they're pretty significant for the Congress and the Senate. And the Republicans really need to win the House, and the only way they're going to do that was with a better economy and markets pumping, and that's what needs to happen. Stocks are doing well, gold and silver's doing well. The only outlier is crypto. And I said back in November and December that if stocks could have a decent Q1, a decent Q4, and consolidate and not just absolutely pull back, that crypto had a shot. If stocks start pulling back, if these metals start pulling back real hard, I really won't worry about crypto. It's already pulled back a lot, but it may just go ahead and finish us off. So that's kind of where I am. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now. There's a lot of things going on that I don't really know how it's going to tie into where we want to go. The charts just kind of are in an absolute middle, that if you're saying it's going one way or another, I don't think you're really serious about it, and it'd be really hard for me to believe you. I've not seen any information yet that says, hey, there's a definite we're going up, or hey, there's a definite we're going down. And I want you to be aware of that. But we do these Bitcoin updates every single night. We'll probably have a better idea than anybody else does because we go over it every single night and we'll have a good idea. But man, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot of uncertainty. You know, altcoins, I feel like they're sitting on a floor. That's my only hope, is that, you know, Bitcoin dominance doesn't look bad. It looks like it really wants to retreat. It's kind of sitting around 56, 58. It's been floating around there for a while now. But I feel like if we were really going into a bear market, that it would run up a little faster than that. We'd probably be closer to 60, 70, or maybe even 80 right now. We're just not. And the charts measure that it wants to pull back to about 49 to 47%, which puts all the money in altcoins. So the question is, does Bitcoin just chop around here, maybe consolidate, and alts find a way to grab a hold? Or they have the market makers set the charts up to make it look like a bear market and we're just about to absolutely launch? I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the USDT. There's a lot being minted, billions and billions and billions of dollars. It just makes me wonder. And as you watch the pullback, especially on Bitcoin on the daily chart and the weekly chart, if you watch through this pullback, especially when we got towards the bottom, the volumes picked up really high. That tells me institutions are accumulating. They're buying into that dip. It makes you wonder. A lot of uncertainty. I think we'll have some kind of idea over the next few days to few weeks. I know there's a lot of options expire at the end of the month. That's going to be a pretty heavy volatile problem for Bitcoin. So we'll see. I know it's clear as mud, but maybe we'll have a better answer going into Sunday and Monday. You know, I would just watch for a more significant pullback on Monday if these tension talks, or if these tariff talks escalate. If not, I may be looking for some upside. I'm not real sure. But we'll take it day to day. We'll circle back around on tomorrow night. We'll figure it out all over again. I'm going to drop you a few altcoin updates tomorrow. We're going to figure out exactly where we are with Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and see if we can't get a pretty good idea of what's going on in those altcoins as well. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Get inside. It is cold. The horses are good. The cattle are good. So we're going to turn it in for the night. Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you down the road.